I'm Anna Corrin. Now that Victoria's Supreme Court has lifted its ban, we can broadcast our special event on Melbourne's gangland war, bringing Carl Williams' mother and Judy Moran face to face in the same room for the first time. Their children involved in drugs, money and lethal retaliation. These two mothers lived through it all. With our exclusive report, here's Claire Brady.
It's whoever dies first.
Yeah, go. Get in, get down.
He's a serial murderer.
I don't want to have this discussion.
Get in, get down. Get down. Nice and down.
They wanted him dead.
Stay down. Dead.
Barbara, you're Carl Williams' mother. He's been convicted of multiple murders. Some police believe he's had a hand in as many as 11. It's obviously not the life you dreamt for your baby boy.
Certainly isn't.
What was he like as a boy?
Oh, very not outgoing, quiet and sort of mummy's boy.
Does it surprise you then that words to use to describe him are natural-born killer, an underworld serial killer, a coward who got others to do his dirty work for him? How do you see him as a mum?
Well, I suppose all mothers are the same, but he's just so gentle. I've only ever seen him get angry 2 or 3 times in his lifetime. He used to just wake up every morning just smiling, real happy, like he was high on drugs or something, but he was just, that was him.
So how do you reconcile yourself then that he has done all these murders and had a hand in so many others?
Well, I think, like Carl said to me, it was either him or them. The first big shock was when he got shot.
Now that was on his birthday too? Was
29th.
29th and shot on his birthday. Was that the beginning of the end?
Mm-hmm.
In what way did he change?
Completely. Paranoid, started getting into drugs himself, which he never did. Looking over his shoulder all the time.
Now, he's 37. He could be in his 70s when he actually gets released. Does he still think it was worth it?
Yeah, he said, I'm still alive, Mum, at least you can see me and everything. I'm better off than they are. They started the war and he's finished it. He's still alive.
And that's how he keeps himself going? Mm-hmm. It was me or them?
Yep.
What are they like? What's jail like for him? I mean, he's gone from this luxurious lifestyle, making almost, $100,000 a week.
Oh, I don't think that's quite accurate.
Isn't it? They're the figures. How's he saying he's spending his days?
Just, he does a walker and he writes a lot of letters and he's on the computer a fair bit, just tries to watch his television. He's got his few half-hour shows he watches, comedy he likes to watch, and just goes sort of one day at a time.
You've gone to visit him. Mm-hmm. How often can you visit him?
He has 1 contact visit a month and 2 contacts with his daughter and 1 box visit a month.
It's not much.
It's terrible. It's only for an hour. You get there and the time's up.
And how does he look at the moment?
He looks incredible. He just comes out and a big smile on his face and I think, you know, and he's saying, settle down, Mum, stop worrying. I'm okay.
Now, his little daughter, Dakota, who he had with Roberta, who he's now not with anymore, she's going to grow up without a dad. Mm-hmm. How's he coming to peace with that?
That affects him too because he won't see anything going on through her life. She goes up maybe once a month. We don't want to push her too much.
How is she when she visits him in prison?
We told her he was in hospital first, but then I've told her that now he's in jail because she knows there's a few other people there too that she knows. She said that Dad's in the same place as them. And,
does that make you scratch your head that this little girl's knowing all this?
Oh, it's dreadful. She's got to go in there and put her little arms out and get searched and the scanner run over her and she empties her pockets, takes her hat off, lifts her shoes up her socks up and shows that she's got nothing there. And
she just knows the routine now.
oh yeah, completely.
Now, Barbara, he took on Melbourne's criminal heavyweights. He nearly won. And where is all that money stashed, Barb?
There's no money stashed, I swear, Claire.
None under the bed?
No.
How are you getting by then?
Barely.
His portrayal in the TV series Underbelly. Now, Barb, it's not that flattering.
It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
You've seen it?
It's nothing like Carl. Yes.
Now, just as Betty King said he was above average intelligence, he comes across on Underbelly as pretty dim.
He sure does.
You're a mother and a grandmother of Dakota. Carl orchestrated the murder of other dads in front of their children. Jason Moran, Pasquale Barbaro in front of 5 children sitting in the back seat of a van, and also Michael Marshall in front of his 5-year-old son.
Oh, it's too Mike Charlie 9. Get down. Stay down. Stay down. At another address, male's been shot up the front.
Did you think your son could stoop that low?
Carl didn't stoop that low.
You still don't believe he had anything to do with that?
I believe he had to do with it. He was in with it. There was 4 of them. But Carl didn't say where. He didn't want them shot in front of children.
Do you believe that, or do you want to believe that?
No, I believe it.
If there is anyone to blame for this, who do you blame?
The Morans.
Carl wiped off Judy Moran's almost her entire family. She's, technically speaking, another underworld mum.
Yep.
Have you got any feelings of sympathy towards her?
Well, he didn't have anything to do with Mark's murder. But, Jason never liked Carl from the start. Jason was a standover person, and Carl couldn't stand anybody trying to stand over him, so they never talked. But him and Mark talked. Yeah, of course I do. I feel sad for any parent that loses their child.
Judy Moran says Carl deserves a lethal injection. Jail cell's too good for him.
That's Judy Moran's opinion. She's entitled to her opinion.
What do you think of her as a mum?
I think she likes the limelight and the gangster thing and all that.
And you don't
I think
see
she's
yourself...
quite proud of it.
You don't see yourself that way?
No way.
Judy also says that she describes your son as absolute pure evil.
He's not even a bit... I can't believe it. He's not even a bit evil.
How would you describe Judy Moran's sons then?
Oh, well, they did come to my house quite often. They seemed quite well-mannered people, except for when he came with a gun. Jason was a standover person and liked to stand over everybody, and he's growing up like that. She liked the gangster life.
What has Melbourne's underworld war left you with?
No family.
Has anyone at all won this Melbourne's underworld war? Has there been any winners?
No. A lot of sadness, I'm sure. And I mean, I've lost 3 members of my family and very close friends, but there's been so many other boys that have been murdered as well, and I feel for their families too.
Barbara Williams says it was Jason that started it all, from the moment he shot Carl in the stomach on his birthday.
Well,
When I even say Barbara Williams, what comes to mind?
well, she's a mother. I feel sorry for any mother that's been involved with anything that's happened to anyone during this gangland war. But I'm very adamant, and I must say this correctly, that all the whinging and whining, what for, that she is doing. Her son is still alive, he's breathing. My children didn't kill anyone, but they've paid the ultimate price with their life.
She even says that you enjoy the celebrity status of being the matriarch of the Moran family.
Well, I am the matriarch of my family. I am the oldest member of my family, and I'm proud of it.
Barbara admits that she knew what Carl was up to. Do you think if she'd been a bit
Well,
tougher, she could have stopped
My
it?
children came to see me after they had shot Carl. Now, that is the honest truth.
What did they say?
Mark said, well, Mum, I was just watching some kids play football and a ute went by and people jumped up and were firing at us yesterday. I said, oh, Mark, why? You better go and see your father. What have you done?
Did you think that might be the beginning of the end then?
Oh, look, that split moment, everything went through. I'm looking all around thinking my boys are going to be shot now. You know, from that moment, I froze.
When it comes to Barbara Williams, are you keeping your powder dry?
Well, look, Barbara is from a different era to me. We live entirely different lifestyles, I'm sure. I can understand her concerns for her son. But how many people are going to feel sorry for someone who has had to pleaded guilty to a certain amount of murders and had to do with another 7 or so? I mean, who is going to feel sorry for herself or her son?
Ladies, Judy Moran, Barbara Williams.
How do you do, Barbara? Never met you before. I've seen you in the court, but I haven't met you.
What's it like to be face to face finally with each other?
Oh, I feel sorry for any mother.
Yeah, so do I. No mother should lose a son before they die. No, you know, no child should die before their parents.
Is there anything you'd both like to get off your chests? I mean, there's been a lot of harsh words said and so much bloodshed during this gangland war. Is there anything you'd like to clear the air with?
No, I'd just really like to take it all back and wish it hadn't started.
It's been that painful?
How did it start, Barb?
Carl being shot.
There were 6 people murdered prior to Carl being shot, to do with the gangland war.
Is it as simple as that, as who cast the first stone?
Oh, I don't think so. No. No, not the way it's turned out, the carnage and... I mean, it's a no-win situation, isn't it?
Yep. Nobody's won out of it.
And you have that in common, don't you? You're both hurting in your own way.
Yeah.
You mentioned about Carl being shot. Did George or yourself take him to the hospital?
That's irrelevant.
Why is that, Judy?
Well, I just wondered how he got from A to B, you know, from the park to either his father's or your place. And who brought the gun to the meeting? Carl did, not Mark or Jason.
I don't want to have a debate. I just want to say that Carl was shot. That's changed his life right around, and he's in conditions that are not meant for animals to be in. And his daughter's suffering badly, and he's going to suffer now. He's suffering. He wished it all didn't happen. It's happened. Can't take it back, can't change it.
What do you say to that?
Barbara, you did say that you can put your arms around your son and cuddle him. I can't. From a mother, that's a terrible thing to say. It's like someone subhuman. You know, I mean, I could never say that about you. I've never said a word about you.
I don't want to have this discussion.
Can there ever be peace between the two of you? Can we make this a moment where things change and...
And I don't think I said that anyway, Judy.
Well, it was in the paper.
I think the papers tell quite a few lies.
Oh, I think they do too. But not knowing Barbara, I don't think we could ever be friends. My whole family is dead because of her son. It would have been a different situation had Jason and I not gone to Mark's grave on his anniversary the day before, because Carl had them waiting there to murder Jason and I at Mark's grave. Both of us. Paid too, for both of us to be murdered. Did you know that, Barbara?
I think there's a lot of stories that go around and
They were there,
are quite
Barbara.
false.
My daughter-in-law's mother saw them.
There's been that much rubbish in the papers and everything like that, but I don't want to be in this debate.
Can you resolve
Carl
anything?
knows everything that's going on. I don't know it all. Carl's told me a lot that's gone on, but I don't know everything. And
Was it a case of
I
he
know
had
the
to kill
papers
or be
tell lies.
Was it a case of, as he said, it was
Yeah,
kill or be killed?
Yep.
Was that much as a point of survival
Yeah.
on the streets of Melbourne?
He had to because to save his family's lives, because his family's lives were under threat.
By
The boys, Jason and Mark. And Mark was Carl's friend, Jason never was. And Mark's the one who hit him over the head and said to Jason...
The difference of a baseball bat to a big gun, I don't know what size the gun was, but the kids told me it was like a cannon. It was a big one. It can't be been of that big, though, because Carl's alive.
It was a tiny little gun. It was like a pea shooter.
I don't know. That's all I was
The
told.
bullet wound was only just a tiny little hole
They
just
took
under
him,
his
they
stomach.
put him in his car and drove him to George's.
Well,
So that's how much they wanted him dead.
I'd have to check that.
You
don't
can check
know.
it all you like, Barbara. I don't tell lies. I don't have to.
No, I didn't say you did.
No, that's one thing about me, Barb. You'll never know a lie come out of my mouth because there's too much sadness, too much hurt, and with all the whinging and whining, you know, that he's doing about being in solitary confinement.
Well, he shouldn't have to live like that.
Why?
Why
Where
should he?
should he live?
He should be in a prison like everybody else in the
He's a
mainstream.
serial murderer.
Well, they shot him. It was kill or be killed.
Oh, please. What about all these other people?
Yeah, but
What
that's
about the
Carl's
boy that was
doing.
tortured and burnt in a wheelie bin, tortured for 24 hours?
I don't know anything
Mark
about him, Judy.
Malia.
I
There's
don't know
so
anything
many.
about it.
Oh, well, you know.
even this conversation, though, ladies, is bizarre. You
It
obviously
is.
don't want to be these sorts of mums. If you
No,
could
of course
turn the
we don't.
clock back,
That's right.
do you
But
wish you?
Mark said to Jason, put another one in his head now, and Mark said, no, we won't get anything out of him that way. Jason said, no, we won't. We'll just leave him like this. And I'm 95% sure they didn't bring Carl back to our house. He came back in his car. They took him back to his car. Then he came in and told me he'd been shot.
They drove him to George's, please be told.
That's debatable. I don't know.
Oh, well, I don't see why my kids would tell me a lie like that.
In a different world, you both could have been neighbours, having normal conversations over the fence, not talking about guns or any of this.
I don't know anything about guns, Claire. Scary, scary, scary things.
And everyone's suffering. You're hurting, Judy. You're hurting, Barbara. You've got that in common. Can you make peace with just that thread?
No, there's no
peace.
way. No, it's no, too much is that.
A lot too much. How many grandchildren do you have, Barbara?
One little girl, Dakota.
What is your feeling about Jason and his friend being shot in front of all those children?
It's disgusting. But Carl didn't want that.
But he's the one that said okay.
Yeah, he said he wanted them dead, but he didn't say he wanted them shot in front of children.
No, he knew. He knew it was going to happen there that day. And he knew that Jason would be there with his children, let alone all the other children. What about their lives?
No, it's tragic. It's a tragic thing that's happened.
And I feel sorry for any mother that's lost their children through
So do
all
I.
of this. There's 30 gangland murders.
That's right. That's
And
right.
each other.
So do I.
Pardon?
And each other? You're both hurting? And each other? Do you feel compassion at all for each other?
I feel sorry for Barbara, what she's been through. I mean, you would be subhuman if you didn't.
That's right. Any
Didn't-
mother feels sorry for anyone who's lost their child.
But what about all these other mothers?
That's right. That's what I said. Any mother.
Do you
feel
do
sorry for
you-
all the mothers.
Do you have black times when you think, gee, how did my son do this?
My son didn't do it all.
I know he had a boss, love. We
He
all
was
know
backed
that.
into a corner.
Oh, well.
It was kill or be killed.
They weren't very good shots then, were they?
Ladies, I think you've both been very brave and honourable to come this far with each other. Do you feel anything that you've got stuff off your chest instead of always shadow boxing, so to speak?
No, I just feel nervous and I don't really want this happening.
There's nothing to be nervous about, Barbara.
Right, ladies, I think we've got it
Okay.
about as much as we can off your chests, and I hope it brings some closure to you, or that you've got something, you go away with it with something. Maybe nothing. But this much is better than nothing.
Oh my word, it is.
Yep,
Yeah.
You're both very brave ladies.
thank you.
Thank you, Claire.
The strange, riveting world of Melbourne's criminal families. Claire Brady, our reporter.